Okay, we back in the 305. Let's see what's going on over here down to the mine. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Season 4, Episode 1 of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Listen, I always tell y'all, I love Love and Hip Hop Miami. It's the energy of Miami, and it's younger people. I think, and I don't know, because you know what, over in Atlanta they do have some young folks, but originally they didn't. They really had folks that were really, in their 40s, in their 30s, and that whole thing. Now over here in Miami, we got the Sukihanas of the world, and Ace Hood, and they're younger. It's still a younger feel, even though we still got Trina, and we got the OGs too. But I don't know. I say that all the time. Miami has a younger feel. It's the energy of Miami is just on point for me. But anyway, let's start right here with Trina. Trina's actually getting ready to deal with the 21st anniversary of the Baddest Bitch album. So the celebration is actually being held in Atlanta, Georgia. Really, really strange little situation. We also got her, she still's with her same little boyfriend, and at a point in the episode, we saw her and Joy talking. She was talking about actually having a baby. And she said, I don't know. She said, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it like within the next year or two. But some of her reservations was about her mother. The fact that her mother, Trina's still going through, and you can see it in some of her behavior. As they show some stuff that's going to be coming up, you can see she's still popping off. She's not as calm as what she used to be. I think she is still in her grieving process with her mother. And you know what? No shame to it. It is what it is. She's going to have to figure out how to work through that. Grief is what grief is. Grief is different for every individual person. I can't say too much about a person grieving the loss of their mother because my mother's still here. But I know from being with my bestie before she passed on, she never got over the death of her mother. She never did. She learned her new normal. Her mother was her best friend, and she learned how to deal, but it never really got easier. She just learned how to work around it. But it was like the wounds never actually healed, and then she ended up passing away like years later. But I don't know that it ever actually got easier. It was like learning a new normal, and that new normal was being around here without her mom being around here. And I don't think it ever actually got easier for her. But from the time that this has started and we started to get an insight on who Trina is, I think she's still in a bad place. With that, I do. I think she's still in a bad place, and I think that actually attributes to some of how we see her like popping off and carrying on. It is what it is. It is what it is. So take your time, girl. Do what you need to do. But anyway, she's talking about having this baby, and she is really nervous about it because she doesn't want to really have a baby, and the baby doesn't have a grandmother. And I think she'll, if it happens that she actually gets pregnant, I think that will, that'll kind of go to the side. She'll learn to deal with that. But I feel you. I feel you. Especially coming from a person like she said with George. She's like, we grew up with our grandparents. She's like, everybody got Big Mama. You know what I mean? And her baby wouldn't have that, so she's kind of worried. But you'll be all right, Trina. You got people around you that will actually help. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Anyway, then we see N.O.R.E. Noriega from Noriega and Capone. That N.O.R.E. Him and his wife, Neri. Is it Neri? Neri is N.E.R.I. So I think it's Neri. So we got N.O.R.E. and Neri, child. But he's interesting. He actually has this podcast. The podcast is called Drink Chat. So I said, Okay, we saw him, it's like early in the day, drunk. He done got drunk. Over there talking to Timberland and Swiss Beats, okay? Love Timberland. Love Timberland. I love Swiss too, but love Timberland. But he over there talking to them, now he done got drunk. She got to come pick him up. She's been, all this time, she's been like his assistant for the most part. And I'm like, okay, we find out throughout the program, old boy ain't got no damn, no license. He can drive, but he ain't got no license. Ghetto. To be who you are in the industry and you run around driving dirty, stop it, N.O.R.E. But anyway, so she's pretty much his everything. And now she's wanting to do her own thing. Like, they got 3 kids. They've been together for 15 years. And the whole thing is, and she's his wife, not his girlfriend, it's his wife. She has this juice bar that she's trying to get off the ground. And with her starting this new business, you're seeing this whole thing in him. Some insecurities, I see. You know, it's this whole thing. He really wants her to be this stay-at-home mom. He don't want her out in the world. But she's doing what she has to do. So that's that. And I was just laughing. I was like, wow, it's 2021. We're not in the age of Lucy Ricardo and Ricky, where you're like talk about you really want her to be home and you don't think that you're supposed to be cooking. And I was like, wow, do people really think like this still? Crazy to me. Anyway, but that's basically what we got going on with N.O.R.E. and Neri. Moving on, Sukihana. Okay, her and the fiance Kill Bill, child. They're doing what they're doing, you know. It's like, okay. And Suki and him are talking about having a baby. Now, they already got kids. Because we know she has kids. And I think he actually has some kids of his own as well. And they're the blended family. They're good and all that. But he wants a baby with Sukihana. I said right away, that sounds a little, I don't know. Especially at this point of her career. Later on in the program, we actually see Sukihana and her mom. And her mother looks young. It's so funny. I thought she just one of her little girlfriends. It's not. It's her mom. And her mom was her manager. And this kind of irritated me because with all that Sukihana actually has going on in real time, like all the drama, you know, Suki be doing some stuff on the internet. She got stuff to be going on. They didn't focus so much on that. It's like they made up a storyline for her. I was very irritated with that. Very irritated. The whole scene of Sukihana and her mom sitting there. Now, maybe you just wanted to introduce us to your mom, to give your mom a check. Okay. But that little fake storyline, I ain't here for it at all. Her mom, she said something to her mom about having the baby. First of all, she was late. 3 hours. So her mom was like, I've been sitting there 3 hours. You just pulling on that. You know, she didn't appreciate that. And I feel you on that. So we got that. But then her mom told her, like any other manager would told her, wait a minute, baby. Another baby? Okay, girl, well, you got at least give it a year or 2 before you go down that road. And then she snaps out. She snaps out. She's, well, I ain't going to film. She talking all to the camera crew and ghetto, but I mean, that's her brand. That's on brand for her, is to be ghetto and to be loud and to carry on and all that. But it was so fake. And it was like fake outrage. We get it. Sukihana, listen, baby, you nasty. You nasty. You are your mouth is reckless. It's reckless. You wear crazy shit. Crazy shit. And you're just over the top. Those are the things that we love about you. But what you're not, baby, you're not no actress. You're not no actress. And right now you got yourself looking crazy. To me. You look crazy. You're not an actress. So for them to put you into a fake storyline and you try to do and create fake outrage, I ain't here for it. it's not working, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm having a good time with you with that. I'm not feeling this from Sukihana at all. So we need to go somewhere else with Suki, or I'm telling y'all, I ain't going to be here this season for Suki at all. I'm going to be dragging. And that's just the way it's going to be. And y'all know I like Suki. Suki cool. But if this is what we're doing with Sukihana for this season, I'm going to be dragging. I'm going to be dragging because it's bull. It's BS. I call bull. Okay. But bam it back down off my soapbox. Suki, girl, get it together. Get it together. Don't let them play you. Because right now, you're being played. You're being played. You ain't no actress, sis. And you know you ain't no actress. Now, we're just trying to get mommy in check. We got to think of another way to get mommy in check. That ain't it. Moving on. Ace Hood. We get introduced to him. Now, when they first started with him in the first half, I said, okay, well, he's everything good. Everything good. He started like in the 11th grade. He's in the 11th grade, and he seemed to have popped right off. He got a deal with DJ Khaled, and that was from 2011. He was with DJ Khaled all the way up until 2018. He's a platinum artist. Everything with him is good. He has his wife. The wife's name is Sheila Marie. Sheila Marie is basically, she runs Curvy Curly Conscious. That is her. She's a social media maven for the most part. I laughed at her because she said, you know, her brand is half namaste and a little bit of Hennessy. So she's like ghetto zen, if you will. So I was like, okay, I laughed at that. In 2018, he left DJ Khaled and went to be an independent artist. While in the midst of that, his wife kind of clashed with the industry because she's pretty outspoken, whereas he's a little more laid back, it seems, and the powers that be don't really care for that. So I think they were saying in a very nice way is that our girl Sheila is pretty much known to be a bitch. Okay? So that's their thing. But again, she got her own business. Being a bitch is probably works really well for her. But in his situation, it's a little bit of a hindrance. Well, one other spot that we saw later in the program where Miss Sheila has had some issues is with his mother. Blondie. So we meet Blondie, and right away we get right to it. Because I kept saying, well, if everything with him is so good, why are we on the show? Because what's going to be the story? Well, it seems as though Ace has been taking care of Blondie from the door. He's been taking care of everything for his mother. Once he went to go into being an independent artist, things had to be changed. And financially, things changed. So she basically got a whole bug up her ass, and she is irritated because he was completely carrying her and she was living the life. Well, things have actually changed, and she blames that on Sheila. And he's trying to explain to her. They had a little sit down, and right away I could tell he hasn't seen her. Like, he hasn't seen her in a while. So I guess there was some type of a real blow up, and they really haven't been spending a lot of time together. And he was saying basically how she basically kind of lives in the hood. He don't live in the hood. He was from the hood, but she's over there. You know, she's still basically, I guess, is in the hood, but she's like rich hood, you know. She got it going on over in the hood. She's taken care of. And things just, I guess her money flow is not as free as it used to be. And again, she blames everything on Sheila, and I guess there was some type of real blow up that had went on. Another thing they kind of threw in there is that back in 2011, he has children from a previous situation, and he had a set of twin girls, and one of the girls actually passed due to complications, and there was a whole thing where he was actually crying. His mom had actually brought that up. So that was a whole lot. Yeah, that was a whole lot. Yeah, it was very interesting. So that's going to be interesting to see how his story unfolds, but he actually has a story. Sukihana, go over there and pay attention to Ace Hood. See, Ace Hood has a storyline that probably was something that wasn't really going on, but for the show, getting his mama a check and they throwing the water back on whatever that was and letting the weed grow. You need to do the same thing instead of just trying to make up some stuff. Pay attention, girl, across the way. Anyway, last thing I'm going to touch on is this whole thing with Trina. You know, there's always a situation with Trina and Trick. Trina and Trick, they got the whole little radio show thing going on. And like I said, I think Trina's still going through. Trina sometimes late, sometimes don't show up, is what Trick was basically saying. She don't talk to Trick as much as she used to. Their friendship has some little strains on it. And it seems as though they still are kind of in that spot. They do some work together, but Trina basically do her thing, and Trick does his thing. And I think they come together for some things, but it ain't like it used to be. The brother and sisterhood, they still brothers and sisters, but it's strained. It's strained. I think Trina knows. It seems like Trick's time is kind of. Trick is here due to his past. His past is what's keeping him relevant. Is what it seems. And Trina got stuff going on. That's what I get out of it. But anyway, with the anniversary now, Trina has since, you all remember when Trina broke up with Julian as her manager, and now she actually has KD and Corey are actually managing her. And KD and Corey are being painted. I can't imagine that she has both of them and they screw up as badly as what they're trying to give here. It seems to be like KD and Corey are getting the bad edit. They're putting them, the bad edit gets put on somebody in reality TV. It looks like KD and Corey are getting the bad edit. Okay? So with this whole anniversary thing, first of all, first issue, why is the anniversary being held in Atlanta as opposed to Miami? They kind of threw it and put it on the pandemic. I said, okay, all right, cool. But then when we get there, we're getting closer to it. They, on their way down the line, find out Trina's not set to perform. How are you not set to perform at your own anniversary celebration? Then find out that Trick wasn't invited. She didn't find that out until she actually got into Atlanta. And she said, well, where's Trick? No, she called me like, I wasn't invited. So, like I said, I think Katie and Corey are actually getting the bad edit. So that just kind of is what it is. And again, Trina got stuff going on. Trick, not so much. Got the little thing, his little radio show thing going on. But other than that, got his little food business stuff. But in the industry, I think we just kind of throw on the line for Trick from Trina and helping Trick to keep getting a check. So that's cool. But again, Sukihana, pay attention. It all kind of wraps in and it makes sense. Where it don't feel so put together. You understand what I'm saying? They just threw the bad edit off on Katie and Corey. But what you got going on, see, I'm just dragging poor Sukihana. But it's okay, girl. I like you. But girl, your shit's bullshit. And I'm just saying. It is what it is. Anyway, so they went ahead, did TV time for us. And they got Trick on his way there to Atlanta. Brought him on in. Did the event. All the event looked like... it was the coverage of the event was just some crap. That was crap. That coverage they did for the event was crap. Like, we didn't really get to see anything other than them flashing the cameras on to some other Love and Hip Hop stars from the other sections. I said, y'all in these migrating sections, watch it. Watch it. Don't mess this up by trying to migrate everybody together all like this. But this was, I'll say this. This wasn't the best episode. This was not the best first episode. Usually when we do a first episode for any of these, for New York, Miami, Atlanta, Hollywood, any of them, it's usually the first episode is like, whoa, yeah, let's go. I didn't get that from this episode. This episode was just okay. It was just literally about that much better than a filler episode. But again, I'm a fan, so I'm here. I'm going to still rock. But this wasn't the best first episode. Anyway, I'll catch y'all next week. Hit me in the comments. Later, y'all. www.chestrésor.com. Ooh.